whether apart from SML, Kwame, I think we have various cases. We have those cases, right? Yeah. For you not to a mammy. You're not to a mam, never Manas Azuri. A write up on OSP so that we can quickly digest something. Men che wo sa adwuma we hu. The OSP office through one guy called Samedako issue response. And your official though, I learned say na a banter between the two on social media. I think Samedako read a friend is say Manas Azuri ne concerns the issues are raised about the OSP office. How OSP office no handle the SML and Kenuforiata in particular. And I am say ma Sameda Konoso a call and but I read the response and yeah, that's it. Okay, so Eric Derry, Bonfanche, your Facebook no call off Kakra. So quickly, near say your technical team no, and now almost bringing it back, and we are now back on X platform. Facebook Canadian, Kada. I say toothpaste to be a pep student. And then you can close up a pep student, the pep student. Toothpaste to be a pep to Facebook Canadian. And I say, you go swing. What my Mary says sound. Want to be share or spaces. Now, I'm fine here at the chain. Okay, so we have Manasseh Azuri Awuni Facebook write up on Facebook page right now. The reason why I'm there tosono and it's Sabaya Ubia bet me a follow up. We know and for discussions. Yeah, the Chumkake and Julia Jackson say very low sound. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. So my main choir Juma and Manasseh Azuri Awuni writes the OSP has not put Ken Oforiatta and Ernest Akori on stop list. All right. So by Manasseh Azuri Awuni, I read critics say the office of the special prosecutor slept on the job and allowed Ken Oforiatta to leave the country before he was declared wanted. Apart from Ken Oforiatta, another accused person in the SML scandal who is also at large is Ernest Dakon Akori. The special prosecutor Kesia Jabin has said that in the Akufo-Addo administration, the OSP was powerless because Ken Oforiatta's cousin, Nana Akufo-Addo, was president. I have observed some misinformation concerning some of the topical issues. I want to put out facts to guide the public discourse. Some of these are facts that are known to me because I led the SML investigation and petitioned the OSP after our investigations. As an investigative journalist, I've also actively sought some of the information to help us have meaningful conversations. In the first of this series, I will address the issue of whether or not any attempt has ever been made to stop Ken Oforiatta and Ernest Akori from leaving Ghana or arrest them should they attempt to sneak in? Okay, 1. So Manasseh says, I have run checks with my sources in security services in the past and current administration, specifically the Ghana Immigration Service, the National Security and the National Intelligence Bureau, formerly BNI. I have also cross-checked with my sources at the OSP, and here are the facts I gathered. 1. Stop list. If the state wants to stop a person of interest or suspect from leaving Ghana, that person is put on the stop list. The institution wanting to stop the person, according to my sources, often writes to the National Security Secretariat. The National Security Secretariat will then write to the Ghana Immigration Service and the National Intelligence Bureau, formerly BNI. Even when the NIB knows that the Immigration Service has been written to or copied, it still officially writes to the Immigration Service. Sometimes the institution seeking the stop order writes to the Immigration Service directly. Point 2. Point 3. No, a quick move. Point 2. If the suspect or person of interest attempts to leave the country or arrives from abroad, officers of the Ghana Immigration Service will stop the person and hand him or her over to the NIB until the institution that requested the stop order is called in. It is a collaborative effort. The primary contact with the wanted persons being the Ghana Immigration Service, which means anyway, so let me do the point 3. Don't worry your head. So a month for a year, they can just follow up. Don't worry. So point 3. So was there a stop order to prevent Ken Ofori-Atta and Esther Quarry from leaving the country? That's what Manasseh is asking. And point 4, in the previous administration, the OSP did not request that any of the security agencies or the Immigration Service put Ken Ofori-Atta and Esther Quarry on the stop list. So offer a points that Manasseh are raising in Anua. One Manasseh is trying to arrive and say, Ejuma OSP ni ye no wanya juma yi. Ken Ofori-Atta atimi adwane. That's okay. Ken Ofori-Atta atimi adwane afri Ghana. Ernest Akwari also atimi adwane afri Ghana. And I think Ernest Akwari there no just recently. It is a sanipa we me enu atimi adwane afri Ghana. Ono Manasseh Azuri esusu say, and we are raising questions. You will stop list. Say obi ye pe obi ache no Ghana. Na yesusu say nipa no betimi adwane. Eku a o pe nipa na ache no say ye CID, say ye Yoko. Say ye whichever institution, OSP. Otimi trauma immigration. And also through other state security agencies. Say, oh, assume I see way. Yeah, the stop list, you're not to stop list so. Sebeya onya kwai enfri kruma. Manasseh ni problem no. That is the issue. What reason? Which is legitimate? Yes, which is legitimate. You can't tell me Manasseh any point. Which is legitimate. As to whether that time the OSP at Troy, but I don't say you're too about we are. Don't say you're too about we are no more. I'm by swearing in one at Ken Ofori-Atta you. So as to whether so much Troy at the national security, which was still in the hands of the MPP, and we don't know, but national security NDC and for appointees by you know, or more but two BB sir. Do they have any information to that effect? Another issue, where they are Aquarino and Esther Aquarino, Nancy and Johnny. Into a no, dear no, so no, dear, what happened? Okay, so this gentleman, Samid Akwa, responded to Ken Ofori-Atta, to Manasseh Azuri. And I learned said this Samid Akwa guy is working with OSP. In what capacity, I don't know. But I am say a banter on social media. So this is not an official statement from the OSP, but this is a response from one Mr. Samedako. Okay, and to just 2-3 paragraphs and deal with it. And Samedako writes, response to inaccurate and misleading claims by Manasseh. I read, Chief, stop pretending you understand the work of the OSP better than the OSP itself. The facts you have put out regarding when they left the country only confirm what the OSP has consistently stated. They traveled while Nanado was president, and it would have been pointless to attempt stopping Ken Ofori-Atta when the presidency had already granted him clearance to travel based on medical grounds. The special prosecutor never said he wrote to the security chiefs at the time to stop him. He said it was pointless because his cousin, the president, had already cleared him to travel. And he had also written to the incoming chief of staff stating that anytime he was needed, they should invite him and he will return. In any case, the heads of institutions at the time had refused to cooperate with the OSP on several occasions. Your argument about the travel stop list is immaterial. This matter involves an extradition process, which is fundamentally different from the routine stop list mechanism. We are working to bring them back. You are speaking as though the issue is about preventing them from leaving. Trust the OSP when it says that Ken Ofori-Atta and Ernest Akore will not be able to sneak into Ghana under any circumstance. They are under constant watch, and if they attempt to re-entry, law enforcement will intercept them. Okay, so all right. Somebody says Veronica says, Bobie, I think Samedako is a research officer for OSP. Okay, all right, that's fine. That's okay. So let's be clear. This is Samedako here. During the previous administration, it was the heads of certain institutions who were accused of non-cooperation, not the institutions themselves. Those individuals are no longer in office. And let me repeat, your petition, in reference to Manasseh Azuri's petition, which we are grateful for, stated that the perpetrators intended to grant SML about $100 million over 5 years. However, the OSP investigations revealed that the actual intended amount exceeded $2.7 billion. The OSP has done a solid job so far and has already placed the suspect before the court. Our focus now is on prosecution, while simultaneously working with the Attorney General, the Central Authority, on extradition. This is our priority, Chief. All right, so this is Samedako. Samedako, person okanyina no ene say. And I think Samedako ja bakuom. Manasseh Azuri mentioned two people, Ken Ofori-Atta and Ernest Akore. Ken Ofori-Atta and Ernest Akore and free krom ha eda baako. You understand? Ken Ofori-Atta and Ernest Akore no. Samedako omo free e krom ha eda baako. We know time your friend say Ken Ofori-Atta free krom ha. So we accept that explanation. I'll contact the current chief of staff today to find out if indeed Ken Ofori-Atta trauma and say anytime be omuhiani biano obeba, and whether the current chief of staff, Dr. Julius Debra, are taking any step to remind Ken Ofori-Atta say, oh kono, let us say na ademayen. And as I would do so. So you only one issue, one aspect. The other issue is, and Americano, Samedako just mentioned a Ken Ofori-Atta issue, but I think that with Ernest Akore, he became silent because Ernest Akore, Kwame said, means Ernest Akore free Ghana has say and Chebia. Right? Ernest Akore, Ofri Ghana, yes, who are Ghana, say need 2 months. If you can check, you can cross check. Say, Sametisu Sudia, any na Samedako Edia Cheme, Sametia on Fan Cheme. But we know that Ernest Akori free Ghana. Na NDC and a full control. So if Samedako ne first explanation is anything to go by. Eric Ompong says Samedako can say both then it's a lie. And you're both. Eric Ernest Akori just left this country. Probably just Google. Just I mean, am I young neighbor complaining say then about Kwenya. But as a communicator, so what's it the Samedako Troy, Semetiasia ya maybe he deliberately mentioned the two and quickly scaled down and was zooming in on Kenoforiata to explain Kenoforiata and Oja and Estakori. How and Estakori, because we're explaining say Kenoforiata if your mind wemu or Tro Letema, current chief of staff. Sata no nyama chief of staff. That's the interim, that's the MPP in all power. Which with that explanation, I agree. Even with the national security, MPP was controlling the national security. Before that, in Soprano, that presidency, Accra100.5FM, Akufo-Addo was still in power. So those explanations make sense. Trust me, it makes sense. What about Ernest Akori? Ernest Akori no yare. Also no question no yare. Why not Shroma no? So let us get it right. Let us get it right. I am common yedi. No, we want to help find solution to the way I project. I say any chrono as ya dore or minor. I per se you find a way and deal with it. So and yes obia I baby I more problem kakra was Samedako a statement and as a communicator I have interviewed people. Him Samedako I think if he'll be the guy I know Joy FM. Me know ya kola no ba Joy. Obeto me na me wa Sempa FM e multimedia. So we all worked in one building. Right, so say Samedako no aminim no dia o sebe obese bi aminu ya ketwa. Right? As a communicator Samedimagine etoto ho a because he touched on the two, then he scaled down on Kenoforiata without mentioning an Ernest Akori issue again. And there's a big, gap there. I'm not going to say that a little bit gray. But you're fair on tour. So this is Manas Azuri issues of our raising, and this is Yenya Samedako.